Hello, 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 hello. How are you? Welcome to today's Life with Herpes live. I am Alexandra Harbushka. I'm the founder of Life with Herpes. It's a blog, it's a podcast, it's a YouTube channel. Obviously, you're watching it here on the YouTube channel. But most importantly, it's a community for people like you, for people like me who are living with genital herpes. So welcome. I'm excited to be here with you on Friday in October. Can you believe it's October already? I can't. So let's get going with the questions. Let me pull up some of the questions I got this week. And pull them up. What is all your plans this weekend? I'm excited. It's Friday. I mean, thank goodness it's Friday. Okay. Hi, welcome. All right. Hello, I just wanted to ask you, is there an actual window period for herpes testing since exposure? Like my doctor said, I don't know what that means. Okay, wait. He said it was a gray area, and I went to get a second opinion, another doc, and ran an IgG, and it came back negative for the da-da-da-da. Okay, so can you give me some pointers? Okay, so it sounds like, your doctor did a couple of tests, and so let's just talk about the testing. Hi, welcome. Thank you. Hi. Yeah, England. I'm in Vegas, guys. It's a beautiful day here. Bill is not here today. I will pick him up from the airport tonight, so I'll tell him hi when I see you, or when I see him. Okay, so about testing. So people ask a lot about testing, a lot about how do I know? Is there a false positive or false negative? Please, like, tell me I don't have it, all that. So the best way to really break that down is there's two types of tests. There is a swab or there's a blood. When we do the swab test, it's an actual lesion. And oh my gosh, so I'm going to reply to your comment, Music Lover, in a second. So it's an actual lesion. It's an open sore. It's and it's a lot of stuff like, it's a sore. It's open. It's a lesion. It can look like a paper cut. It can look like a blister, but it's an open sore. So at that point, when they do the swab test at that point, and if it comes back positive with an open lesion, then it's pretty accurate. I mean, that's it. You have an open lesion, so it's pretty accurate. The pros and cons with that is if they do the swab too early or they do the swab too late. So if they do it before a lesion actually appears, or if the swab is after it's healed and it started to scab over, perhaps, that can show up negative. Okay, now let's talk about the blood test. There's basically three different types. There's the IgG, the IgM, and the Western blot. I'm just going to make it super simple. The blood test, what they are doing when they draw your blood, they're not looking for herpes. They're not looking for the virus per se. What they're looking for is the antibody in your body. So if we go back to science, we go back to 6th grade science or whatever it is, and when they talk about, like the fighter T cells, and that virus comes in and your body gets all worked up and going, and then they create antibodies. So what they're actually looking for is the antibody in your bloodstream. So those are the two ways that we do testing. So the catch with the antibodies are, if you are just new to having herpes and you just get your first outbreak and they do a blood test, you go to the doctor, they're like, we'll draw your blood, then a lot of times you don't have the antibodies in your body, and that can take up to a couple of months. So keep that in mind as well. So if you are getting, if you keep getting outbreaks, but I'm still showing up testing negative, I'd really recommend going in and getting tested when you actually have an outbreak. Have them do a swab, or go back in a couple months and do an antibody test. So that was a really long just answer for that. Music Lover, I'm glad you found the channel. I'm so glad you're here. That is awful that you were raped and you got herpes from being raped. I mean, that's such a sad thing when sex is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. And it also is being used in such a destructive, negative way. And I'm really glad you're here. Thank you for being here. And I really want to invite you to join our community. It's really going to be a great place. I don't know if you've joined yet, but join the Secret Society. It's really a great place to talk to other people. There are other members in there who also were raped, who got herpes from being raped as well. And so that it's really a great community. So I really want to invite you to do that. Go to Life With Herpes and you'll find the information. Okay. Yeah. So Rebecca, you're saying you eat healthy. You don't want to change your diet. Don't. If you're eating healthy and you're not getting outbreaks and your body's happy and it's working and all that stuff, don't change your diet. There's nothing wrong with enjoying, a piece of cake or a beer or a burger or whatever. Like, these are all parts of our life. So, I think it's great. We add these little things in here and there, but we enjoy life. Okay. So next question from Alexandra. Hi, I have another Alexandra. Is why did you decide to stop taking antivirals daily, and how do you protect Bill without taking antivirals? So I decided I was taking antivirals for about 3 years. So let me back up. When I was first diagnosed with herpes, I think my dog's going to walk out. When I was first diagnosed with herpes, I was like, I'm never taking an antiviral ever. I don't want to. I don't want to succumb to it. I don't want to admit that I have it. I don't want to have to take something. And I ended up having to take the antiviral and go on it because I could not get my outbreaks under control. I had outbreak after outbreak after outbreak. So I decided at that point to get on the antiviral. And don't mind my thermos that is all. So then I was on antivirals for about 3 years. And it was because I started dating, and I was dating someone, and I didn't want to obviously I didn't want to transmit herpes to him. And so that was really important because when you are on the antiviral, it does it suppresses the virus. So you have less outbreaks, if none. And it also, here's my dog. I got to show you her. She has a hot spot, so she has a cone. Yeah, she's not feeling too good about her look right now. That's Ruby Rose. And so when you take the antiviral, it reduces the outbreaks and it reduces the viral shedding, which is really the secret spreader. It's the really silent thing in this epidemic is we don't think that we're contagious, yet we are. So that was really important. That with Bill, my husband, I was on the antiviral for probably about a year. Into dating him for about a year, I took the antiviral, and I just finally said I no longer want to take something daily. I'm tired of it. I don't want to take something daily. In general, I believe that taking things, any type of prescription over a long period of time, whether it's birth control, whatever it is, it can't be good for your body long term. It's just my personal belief. With that being said, if you are having tons of outbreaks and you can't get your immune system on track and you're really struggling, then I do suggest the antivirals. So Alexandra, I don't know if that answered your question about my story and about that. But as far as protecting Bill, we just do our best to communicate. And I obviously must not shed often. And, it's worked out. There's many, many couples who have been married for many, many years. And it's been, it's worked out. A lot of it is communication. And that really is the key. How many relationships have you had after having herpes? And how many of those did you transmit herpes to your partner? Were you able to protect your partner and not transmit? Okay, so as far as relationships, I dated many people. As far as sleeping with people post-herpes, post being diagnosed, I've slept with 2 people. So I had an ex-boyfriend and then my husband. So neither the ex-boyfriend and my husband have herpes. So I have not transmitted it to them. But I dated everybody. I had fun. Like I went out, I had dinners, I had coffee. But as far as actually sleeping with them, it was a boyfriend and an ex-boyfriend. there were many, many, many men that were like, I don't care, but I just really didn't want to sleep with them. Like I, wanted to be picky. So, but that was my personal choice. And that was that. It had nothing to do with herpes. I just decided to, be in a relationship, and that was important to me. Were you able to protect your partners? Yeah, I mean, definitely. With ex-boyfriend, we used condoms. I was on the antiviral. Later on in the relationship, we didn't use condoms. I just was on antiviral. So, and then my husband and I, we don't use anything. So, it's really communication. It's really communicating with him about what is, what I'm feeling like and how my body's feeling and things like that. Okay, so great music lover, really glad to hear that you're not getting outbreaks. You may not get them very often. Everyone is super different. Some people get them a ton of times. Some people don't get them very often. So that's really great that you're not getting outbreaks. Okay. If having herpes is normal, then why is it an issue or a stigma? Hi, Yvonne. Why is it a stigma? And also, thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Okay, so why is it a stigma? It's a stigma because it has to do with sex. You look at other stigmas that are out there, or other viruses or other diseases or other, things that perhaps you don't necessarily want in your life. They're not the stigma because they don't necessarily have to do with sex. So let's just look at psoriasis. That's a skin disease as well, just like herpes is a skin disease. I'm not really sure how you catch psoriasis, or how you have it. I really don't know that much about it, but it's not sexually transmitted. So that's the difference. It doesn't have the stigma with it, right? Looking at herpes, it is sexually transmitted. And so the whole stigma with herpes and being sex, and you shouldn't have sex, or you should have sex, or you should only have sex when you're married, or whatever the stigmas are around that, then it's used as a punishment, and it's been used to mock and make fun of and use the scarlet letter and all these sorts of things. And that is my personal take on it. There's been a really good job. The drug companies have done a really good job at doing this. So, so for some people, diet does play a huge role. Yeah, the word shed is awful. I mean, it's awful. The word shed. Yeah, like viral shedding. It's just not pretty. Okay, so it seems like eating is been something that we're chatting about right now, is eating and diabetes, and I eat healthy and I don't want outbreaks, and should I change my diet and things like that. So let's just talk a little bit about diet and eating healthy. As we know, in general, yeah, we definitely don't want to change our diet too drastically. But what I can suggest is we know what foods are good for us, and we know what foods are not, right? Like, we know going to drive through and getting cheeseburgers every day, or eating, just drive through meals, we know that's not good, right? We know having a heavy processed diet is not good, right? And it makes our bodies work harder than, say, having a salad or having something that is, you love tomatoes. I love tomatoes too. I can't get enough. But then eating stuff that is natural and what our body is used to processing. When your body has to work harder, then your immune system can potentially go down. So there are some foods that lower your immune system, have like a hair, that lower your immune system, and they are alcohol, which is a big one, caffeine, alcohol, caffeine, sugar, processed foods, and chocolate. So those are some like really big 4 things that are hard on your body for arginine, for herpes. The chocolate has to do with arginine, not because chocolate necessarily hard on your body. But let's talk about the caffeine, the alcohol, and the process. So what happens with those 3? The caffeine, when you're over caffeinated and you have too much going on, your immune system can actually go down. If you are drinking too much alcohol and you're hungover and your body has to work harder to process it and get it out, your immune system goes down. When you eat too much sugar and you have too much sugar in your diet, and it's not natural to have that much sugar, right? Our bodies are not made to be having the like pounds of sugar that we consume a year. So that also lowers your immune system and you have to work harder. Then let's add processed foods, which are not naturally, right? They add things into them to keep the shelf life, to keep them lasting longer. So our bodies are not able to process them. Your immune system goes down. So all of these things lower your immune system, which means when your immune system is low, then you will have a greater risk of having an outbreak. Is kind of the breakdown on the outbreak. And I love tomatoes as well. Yeah, I don't want obesity, diabetics. Yeah, that has nothing to do with having herpes, so don't sweat that one. That's great, Music Lover, that you're still able to eat all those things. I eat those things daily as well. I mean, I have wine every night. I have chocolate every day. I have dark chocolate. I buy the darkest chocolate I could possibly buy. I get the 85% dark chocolate. You know, I don't have caffeine. That has nothing to do with having herpes. My body just no longer will tolerate it. I don't really eat processed foods too often, but when I do, I'm careful about it and acknowledge that I'm eating it and then eat as clean as I can the next day. So yeah, I eat these foods as well, just not daily and not every meal. Okay, Shannon has a lot. I plan to disclose to my partner tonight. I'm really nervous. I really don't want to lose this guy. Any ideas on how to break the news without breaking the relationship? Yes. Okay, Shannon. So, A, are you a member of our community? You should join because this is a great conversation. We talk about this almost daily in the secret society. So I really want to invite you to join. Go to Life With Herpes and join. Oh, I need to take another sip. That's my breakfast. It's a smoothie. Anyways. So, couple tips about sharing with your partner that you have herpes. 1, you only have to share when you feel ready. You don't have to share on the first date. You don't have to share on the second date. You do have to share if you're going to expose your partner to it. So if you're going to have sex, oral sex, whatever it is you're going to do, if you're going to expose your partner to it, then you should tell them, give them heads up. So you don't have to tell them till you want to. If you are going to sleep with them, you should tell them, in my opinion. And 3, when you tell your partner or whoever you're going to tell, hey, I have herpes, you need to remember it's not about your story. It's not about you being a victim. It's not about you being a lesser person. It's not about you not deserving love, relationship, sex, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. It has nothing to do. All that you are telling them is you have a skin disease. And this partner could potentially catch this skin disease. You have to put it into that mindset. It's not this, oh, I had this happen and that happened and then I dated this person and they were a jerk. So what we don't want to, that story should absolutely happen at some point, especially if you're in a long-term relationship with someone. When you're first telling them, it needs to be, here's what it is. This is what I have. This is how long I've had it. This is what I'm doing to prevent outbreaks. This is what I'm doing to prevent you from catching it. What questions do you have? It no longer is about you. It's about that other person. So definitely, Shannon, feel free to DM me if you have any more questions. Come join our community. Ask those people over there. We've had a lot of disclosures. I think I have to move inside because my gardener's here. We've had a lot of disclosures, a lot of people being super happy and people not caring. So I'm going to move inside. Hi. Sorry, guys. Little interruption here. My door is super heavy. Okay. So does that kind of answer? Yeah, definitely, Shannon. Good luck. You'll be fine. And the way you just have to look at it is, look, if this person is not willing to love you because of a virus, because of a skin condition, a skin virus, then this person is not worth your time. So plain and simple, this person's not worth your time. And you just have to look at it and go, okay, I want someone who's going to love all of me, all of my viruses, whatever my quirks are, whatever I do that's annoying, my benefits, my losses, everything. I want someone that's going to love me for everything. So keep that in mind. Yay, everyone's saying good luck. I love it. I love it. I feel like telling a new partner immediately doesn't give me a chance for the girl to see me for me. As a guy, I feel like my chances are low, so I'm lost right now. Okay, so Noble, you don't, again, I was just saying to Shannon, you don't have to tell the person on the first date. In fact, I really don't think it's important to. I'm a big believer in why put all your cards out on the first date. It'd be like sharing, you know, hey, I'm hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. Or if you had any other disease, you probably wouldn't share. Like if you're like, oh, I had colon cancer. I just picked one. You probably wouldn't share that on the first date either, right? So all these little things, it's really not important to share them until you're really ready, until you're really committed to this. Not when I say committed, I mean you're ready to go to the next level with this person. If you want a relationship with this person, there's two types. There's I want to date someone just for sex, or I want to date someone to have a relationship with that person. If it's just about sex, then it is tell them first night, see if they're okay, and go for it. If it's like, hey, I really want this relationship, then wait until you guys are ready to have sex. Make sense? Rebecca, you're talking a lot about food today. So as far as overeating, that's something I can't necessarily help with. But I am, but as far as, you know, herpes food and herpes diet, you can go to the website. I have a lot of information there on the right food to eat. And if you do have other concerns about eating, I have people I could reference you to about eating or overeating or what to eat or eat intuitively or things like that. So I could definitely introduce you to people. I think I got through all the questions here. Let me go through some other questions of some other people. Hey, everybody. Let me go through some other questions that I received. Okay. I was wondering, since you have 1 and 2, so I have HSV1 and HSV2, what's your stance on oral sex? Like, do you receive, do you give? I'm sorry if it's TMI. I was just wondering about that for myself since we have both. Okay, so people ask me a lot about oral sex, vaginal sex. Yes, I have both. And my husband knows I have both. My husband is aware of the potential risk. I don't like using the word risk, but he's aware that he could catch it. And we kiss. We kiss daily. We have sex very often. I do receive oral sex. I also provide oral sex. And so it's one of those things that you're either okay or you're not. Like you're either in or you're out type of thing. It's not like oh, I'm going to love you, but I'm only going to touch you with my shoulder. Like you're in or you're out. Do we have sex when I have an outbreak? No. Do we kiss if I have an outbreak on my mouth? No. However, they're only 14 years apart. My outbreaks on my mouth, I don't have them often. So it's not really an issue. But like I've said, and that's been kind of a couple questions here, is if I feel something coming on, then I communicate that with him. I let him know. I'll say, gosh, you know, let's hold off today. It's not the right time. So that's what we do. Okay. Okay. Hello, what do we get tested for for the yearly? Because because we know it's not HSV till we have an outbreak. Hi, Jen. So the problem is herpes is not always included in the STD panel. I can go off and off and off on why that isn't on there. Bottom line, it's not on there. So you specifically have to ask. And that's what happens is when we're like, well, I got tested. I didn't have any results. I didn't have anything come back positive. I was negative for everything. What do you mean? And that's what happens. So yeah, it's not really until you get the outbreak that you're like, what do you mean? Or your partner's like, where'd that come from? So unfortunately, that's how it happens. Yeah, if you don't get outbreaks, that's awesome. Like I said, you've probably had one or some small outbreak, because in order for those antibodies to pop up, something had to happen, like some combustion had to go on, right? So it could have been, a little itch, a little scratch, a little paper cut, a little something that you may not have noticed. And that's totally fine. And now it may be many, many, many years before you get another one. So asymptomatic shedding, asymptomatic, which is basically what you're saying. Again, I get outbreaks orally. I've had 2, and they were 14 years apart. So pretty good odds there. Okay, so Jen, what do they test for? They test for chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, HIV, what else? Hepatitis sometimes, and HPV, human papillomavirus for women. I don't think there's a test for men yet. So yeah, that's what they test for. They test for the other ones. Really, if you look at it, the other ones are far more dangerous. They really can cause some life-altering things, where herpes is just a skin disease. It doesn't change your life in any way. You can look at it that way. Yeah, so they scan for HPV, but not HSV. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, being afraid of any itch, I understand. That's totally normal to be like, ooh, is that an outbreak? Is it not? Just listen to your body and know that your body has movement. It has pain. It has pleasure. It has itches. It has tickles. It has everything. It has tingles. It has all that. It's alive. So expect to feel that. It doesn't always mean it's an outbreak. Okay, my friends, I am going to go. You have had nonstop itching but came out negative for every test. Well, that's great. If you are negative, that's awesome. If that's what it is, so that's awesome. Do I think the stigma will change? Yeah, I'm really hoping it'll change. I'm trying to change it with this show, with putting my face out there, with sharing with the world. And there's so many people just like us who have herpes, and it's really important for us to realize that our life is totally normal. It has really nothing to do with our life. Thank you. Yeah, so guys, if you are not a member of the community, I'm not sure, because I don't know all your names, because they're like usernames, not actually names. But go to lifewithherpes.com. Join the community. It is a subscription. There is information for you to download, but also where you really want to go to is a subscription-based community. I am in it daily. There are hundreds of people over there, and it really is a warm place to listen, to learn, to give your advice, receive advice, and just educate yourself with everybody in that community. So I guarantee someone else over there is also sharing and feeling the same way. So I'm going to write in here, and go there, check it out, say hi, come over. As Chandel, if you're having itches, I would just let it, see what happens with your body. If you're coming back negative for everything, then, you're coming back negative. See if you get outbreaks. If you do get outbreaks, then potentially it is herpes. But as far as that, I can't, guide you anymore unless you get a result that does come back positive or have a new symptom or sign. Just keep communicating with your doctor and like stay on it. You really have to be in charge of your medical, your own medical. So that's really important. That's so funny. Starting to learn more about my body and odors. Yeah, I totally get it. Definitely a lot more to learn. All right, my friends, I'll see you all soon. I'll see you next week, next Friday. Yeah, thank you from London. I will see you all, and I will tell Bill hello, and I'm going to try and get Bill on the show again. Okay, have a great weekend. Go have a beer. Go, I don't know. Good luck telling your date, Shannon, right? Was it Shannon? Yeah, Shannon. Good luck. Okay, bye. Let us know how it goes.